welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts. Now today I'm going to show you how you can just use some normal packaging to cast something. Now, my son at Christmas, it was one of his stocking fillers, we bought him this little elastic panned gun that shoots turkeys at some targets, and it came in, it was just one of them silly little presents, and it came in this like plastic packaging, and I want to show you how to cast in that. Now, I'm not one for guns, and this is certainly not a video meant to highlight and celebrate the use of guns at all. What it is this was just a nice little blister pack that allowed me to show this demonstration. But what I will do first is I will use some silicone release spray on this to enable, and you don't need much, to enable the resin to come out of it quite easily once it's cured. I'm going to use this as a symbol of peace, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to attach these butterflies to this gun once it's cast, that I've made that are 3D or I made using a paper base. And if you want to see how I do those, then the link to that video is above, and I shall attach those to this gun at the end. And I've decided to do the whole thing in this lovely metallic silver. And then what I will do is once the figure is finished and it's cured, I will then put details on it using some embossing paper. So literally it's just now a case of pouring in this mould until it's full. And I do love this metallic silver, it gives such a great effect. Okay, now I do want to kind of slightly over pour so I don't get that concave look to it once it's cured. Although if I do, then obviously I can sand that down to a nice gloss finish, as you can see in the video above here how I do that. And it is fairly easy to do as well, and it does take a bit of time, but it's worth doing. You get some great results from it. So this is cured now, and it's quite hard. What I would say is that I don't always get these out of the moulds without cracking these little flimsy blister pack or plastic moulds. But if I do, then I'm quite happy. And this one has got mould release in it, so it should come out fairly... Oh, there we go. Oh, well, it hasn't ruined that mould, so I could use it again if I wanted to. So there we are. There's no bubbles in that, as you can see. Now there is a bit of overfill, because I said I wanted to fill it quite full. So what I'm going to do is, with the overfill, is I'm just going to trim that back using a knife. And if you can't get the shape that you really want with the knife, which, you know, you should be able to do, then you can heat the blade of the knife up with your hot air gun, and you will find that that will just cut through this quite simply. I have shown that on a few of my other videos. I will show that again here. I'm going to actually use my torch. So I'm just going to heat that up a little bit. There we go. I'll just quickly show you. So then but make sure you don't get it on anything. There you go. So it just cuts through like a knife through butter, but you have to make sure that you don't cut too far up or too far around, because it will mark what you're doing. So you take it carefully. So I'm now going to emboss this. If you don't have embossing powder or a heat gun, then you don't have to emboss it. You could leave it as it is. I think it looks quite good as it is. Or you can perhaps paint it with some resin, or, you know, there's lots of different things. But I mean, I think it's quite effective as it is, to be honest. But I want to emboss it because that's really what I'm looking to do. I'm just using an embossing pen at the moment to get some embossing ink, and this is the Imperfect Medium embossing pen. I think I got this from Amazon or somewhere, probably like that. And it's got like a brush tip on it. So there's that. And all I'm going to do is put this copper embossing powder on it. And I may do this more than once. I may do it a couple of times because it sometimes gives a much better, neater effect when you've done it more than once. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten up my lines here. Now, I could have used an anti-static bag, but I didn't get it out. So there we go. So I'm just going to straighten up my lines there, and let me just pop some on the bottom there. There it is. Let's put that there for a second. Put this back in the pot. I don't want to waste it. And now, what I would recommend that you do is, whenever you heat embossing on resin, heat your embossing tool up really nice and hot. Okay, so that's nice and hot. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to emboss that, but I'm going to keep it moving around again, like I said, because I don't want to soften the resin too much. And you can see when it starts to take, because actually it starts to change its colour quite considerably. So that's embossed that, and actually what it's done is it's left a little pitted look on the handle, and I really quite like that. So because I was going to go over it again and do a second coat of embossing to thicken it up and to make it nice and clear and well covered, but I really like how that's come out, so I'm not going to do that on that, because I think it looks good like that. And that's the great thing about crafting, isn't it? You can look at something and you can think, do you know what? I like that. I'm not going to add to it or change it. And the next bit I'm going to do is this bit here. So I'm going to use the same technique because I just want this to be covered as well. And I think it just gives it sets it off a little bit. And once again, I think that's come out really well. And I think it just gives the hot gun a little bit of highlights before you mount it or do whatever you're going to do with it. I've got a piece of just scrap wood, actually, that I've painted black with acrylic paint. And then I embossed clear embossing powder on it to give it a nice shine, because I didn't want to varnish it and couldn't be bothered to wait for it to dry to varnish. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this gun on here, and then on here I'm going to stamp the word peace, love and joy. So let's get that stamped on there. Okay, so now all we have to do is stick this to the wood, and that's a fairly simple thing to do. All I'm using here is Loctite super glue, and it's the Perfect pen, and I don't need to be putting too much of this on. To allow that to stick. I love this Loctite super glue. It's really quality. Quality. I loves it. There we go. But always make sure you put top on, because if not, what you'll find is next time you come to it, it'll all be dried up so hard that you will not be able to get any out the thing. Because I know from experience. Okay, and then you just need to put a bit of weight on that and let that dry. I normally let the Loctite glue dry for about 20 minutes, to be honest. So that's now stuck on there nice and strong. And what I'm going to do now is, I made these a while back. I don't know if you can remember or if you've seen the video. If not, the link to the video is above. It shows you how I make these. These were on paper and domed, and these were just free-formed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these butterflies onto this as well. So I'm going to put a bit of glue down where I want it. I want it one there, and I want that one there. Like so. I want one here. So actually I'm going to put the glue on the back of this one. Here, like so. And I want one just coming off the edge there where it says peace. So again, I'm going to put the glue on the back of this one. And I only made these out of watercolour paper. Okay, so there we go, that's that done. All we've got to do now is wait for this to finish drying, the glue to finish drying, and then that's all finished now. And as you can see, it's mounted on there really nicely, and I'm very pleased with it. And actually, you could put that on the wall, or just put it on the side like that, or however you would like to do it. And using these blister packs is a great way of making moulds out of different shapes. As you can see, I mean, that just was a stocking filler blister pack. I got this one today with a glue stick in it that I want, and I'm probably going to make something with that as well and put some flowers in it or something. But they work great, they really do. So if you see a blister pack that you really like and you think, can I make a mould out of that? Yes, you can. Thank you very much indeed. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my videos, and please leave me a comment and share this video as much as you can. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye.